So if you can see your screen, or if you can't see your screen, let us know. You should have dialed in through the unique link that was set out to you in the reminder email today. And you can see on our screen is myself and Pete Wardrope. And we will be recording this webcast so we can get the presentation and webcast out to you next week. We'll send those to the attendees on the call. Just a couple housekeeping items. If you do have questions that come up during the webcast, please just type them into the question link and we will address them as they come up. We do hope to have a little time at the end for questions as well, so whichever you prefer. But at this point, I'm going to be turning it over to Pete Wardrope, who's going to do a demo on how Billhighway processes dues payments for education associations.
Thanks, Rebecca. Good afternoon, everybody. Our agenda for today, we'll go through a brief introduction about Billhighway, who we are and what it is that we do. We'll do an overview of the Billhighway solution and then dive into what we call the member payment model and really how we work on processing dues for membership organizations such as yours, for those of you who are on the line today. And then, as Rebecca said, at the end here, we'll open it up for questions. If you do have questions throughout today, feel free to type those in to the question pane, and our moderator will make sure that we have those answered for you. So a quick little introduction about Billhighway. We're based in Michigan. We're about 10 miles north of Detroit. We focus on automated financial management solely for nonprofits and membership associations, and we've done that for the past 15 years. We have about 65 employees here at Billhighway, and we process over $1 billion of membership dues payments annually for our clients. The Billhighway solution overview, so we talk about why organizations such as yours should use Billhighway, and typically what we see is organizations that have a big need for invoice and statement generation and delivery to their members based on information that they have within their member databases. We provide a virtual banking platform that has physical and logical account balances. So what we do is we take a physical bank account and represent different virtual account balances. We'll talk about that today and how that can help an organization where you have a headquarters organization with a number of affiliates underneath it. We have automated accounting intelligence workflow rules, flexible payment options, full security within our platform, and then a native GAAP-compliant general ledger that's in there as well. We'll talk about some of the benefits of those throughout the presentation today. There's a number of other items within this list. I won't go through all of them for you. They're there for you to read, and we will be distributing this information after the call today. But again, please feel free to ask any questions on those as they may come up. So the Billhighway solution overview, what we've done is designed a platform that integrates with existing member management systems. So some of those that we've integrated with today are things like the Salesforce.com platform, a Billa's Net Forum product, as well as some homegrown systems that organizations have developed themselves, the IMIS platform, all of those sorts of member management systems. What we do here at Billhighway is we integrate with those platforms in a way that communicates member attribute information back into Billhighway. So things like who is the member, what's their name, address, what sort of member are they a full-time member, are they a part-time member, things that make up what their dues may be are passed to Billhighway. From there, we take that information within the Billhighway platform and we generate an invoice or a statement for those members. When we do that, we create all of the associated accounting entries within our platform and book them to the general ledger. And that information can be integrated to an external general ledger or maintained within Billhighway's general ledger structure as well. From there, we virtualize cash accounts as we're collecting payments. We collect payments in a variety of mechanisms. In many cases, they're automated with frequently scheduled recurring payments, as well as one-time ad hoc payments that are done online or offline through a lockbox. We take ACH payments, credit cards, all of those sorts of payments. One important item to note is that Billhighway actually serves as the payment gateway and the payment processor for your organization. So there's no need to subscribe through another payment processor or gateway when you're using our platform. What that enables us to do is all of the back office automation, automatic routing of cash between the various entities within your organization, and all the downstream accounting for that. We reconcile all of the bank accounts to our client virtual accounts on a daily basis, and then we integrate all of that information as far as the invoices and payments that we've received back into your member management system so that you have up-to-date real-time information on your members' accounts. All of that can be integrated directly into the member management system for presentation, or we can integrate directly into a member portal if you have that on your platform, so that members can integrate directly through that member portal. As you'll see on the right-hand side here, we sit on top of a banking platform, so we're settling all of the funds into a physical bank account as they're processed, and then we represent those in affiliate virtual bank accounts as well within our platform, and we'll show what that looks like today as well. As we get into the member payment model, what we see here is sort of the journey of creating invoices and statements, collecting payments, and integrating back to the member database for your organization. Some of the key points or common benefits that are here is we have automatic generation and delivery of e-statements to your members. That's configurable. We work with some organizations that don't want members to get statements, and that's okay, and we support that. In many other instances, though, we found it very valuable to the organization to provide those statements to the members so that there's transparency to what it is that their dues payments are being collected for. We have what we call automated funds flow for processed transactions. So as a transaction is processed, we can automatically route those funds to various entities within your organization based on the line items in the invoice. We'll show you that today. We have detailed reconciliation of every fund balance. So as funds are deposited to the bank account, we reconcile those to your account in Billhighway on a daily basis down to the penny for you. And then funds are immediately available upon member payment. So in the majority of cases for our clients, we're able to make those funds available immediately upon the payment, as opposed to having to wait a week or a month or what have you for settlement from a third-party processor or something of that sort. We're able to do that because we are the payment gateway and the payment processor in this instance. When we get into invoicing and statements, so the way that this works is Billhighway creates behind the scenes what's called an invoice, and that has all of the line item detail of what a member is being charged for in their dues payment. From there, we book the associated general ledger entries, the associated accounts receivable, and so forth, and those can be integrated to your external general ledger as well. But we also create what we call a statement. So think of this like a utility bill that you get from your electric company, where the statement is representative of all of the charges on your account historically. So that statement is summarizing all of the prior invoices that are unpaid on your account, and those are reflected in what's sent to you as a member. We can integrate that member management system attribute information to create the invoices for you, or we can import only your member list into the member management system and allow local leaders, so officers of a chapter or a local or what have you, to go into Billhighway and create those invoices in large groupings based on billing types for your members. So there's a large variety of different levels of control and automation that's available within the platform. Ultimately, all of this information is getting integrated back into your member management system and your general ledger so that you have all of that information back into the systems that you're used to using on a daily basis. What this looks like is we send statements to members. We do that electronically through email. This is an example of an email notification that a member might get when they receive a statement. What you'll see here in the window is they're provided with a hyperlink to the Billhighway member portal that allows that member to go in and make a payment on their account for the statement that they've received. They also receive a PDF invoice for their statement that shows them exactly what it is they're being charged for, and they can use that to send in a check to a secure lockbox for payment if they choose not to do that online. We can also skin these emails so that they have the branding of your organization as well. They don't have to actually represent that it's coming from Billhighway. And we can have these sent from email domains of your organization as opposed to Billhighway as well. So Billhighway really becomes behind the scenes for your organization if that's the way that you would like to present that to your members. An example of the PDF that a member might get is shown here. Again, all of this information is customizable to your organization. But the key piece here is what we're seeing is the invoice number. So we talked about invoices create statements. And then the line items on this statement that a member is receiving that shows what their dues are for. We can show this by line item, or we can simply provide them with a summary amount. But later we'll show you how these line items enable us to use that automated flow of funds throughout the different levels of your organization. And then the bottom portion is the piece that gets cut off and sent into the lockbox with a payment and allows us to match to a member account. Once a member receives their statement, we move on to the actual collection of a payment. So members make payments in a variety of formats. There's actually 4 different ways, although we represent 3 here. These are the 3 most common. That can be through credit cards, ACH, EFT bank withdrawals, or through the lockbox. There's also phone or IVR where someone calls in and reads or enters their credit card information over the phone to an automated system, and it functions the same way. Ultimately, we collect the payment. We book, again, the associated general ledger entries. So in this case, we're relieving accounts receivable and crediting the cash to the account. And then we apply the payment to the member account that we have within Billhighway, and then integrate that information back into your member management system and your general ledger so that you have an up-to-date view of the member's account standing. Some of the different member payment options that we have are automated recurring payments, so those can be pre-configured or member initiated as far as what the recurring schedule is going to be like. Those payment schedules are flexible, and we determine that when we configure your account within Billhighway. They can be 9 months, 10 months, 12 months. It really doesn't matter. Any interval is possible within our platform. Recurring payments are done through credit card or ACH bank withdrawals. And then obviously lockbox would be a manual ad hoc payment that's done by the member. And that goes into the one-time payments where those can be made at any time and for any amount as well. And that's configurable. So you can allow your members to simply go into the platform at any time they want and pay any amount they want. But we can also require them to pay balances in full as well if that's something that you would like to do. The way that this works is through the member portal within Billhighway. What you'll see here is what a member is presented with when they log into the Billhighway portal. And we can integrate this into your member management system if you would like. We can do that through an iframe application, or they can simply go directly into the Billhighway application here. The member is presented with their current balance, if there's any amount that's past due, and then their balance in full. So if there were differences that make up these amounts, you would see different amounts here. They can choose to set up automatic payments themselves if they've not enrolled when they sign up as a member with your organization, or they can go into Pay Now if they want to do a one-time payment option. The other item you'll see here is you can distribute group news to the organization. So any member that logs in, this can be set at the local level where the member can log in and you can distribute news to them if there's an upcoming meeting or a vote that's taking place or something of that sort that they need to be aware of. We can configure that within here as well, and that's something that your local administrator has the ability within our platform to do that. Our payments are all wizard driven within Billhighway, so it's very easy for a member to work their way through, and we do have the ability to store credit cards and payment methods. Here you see a credit card. We also have the ability for them to do an ACH withdrawal through this payment mechanism by entering their banking information as well. As they go through and make a payment through this mechanism, it applies to their account immediately and then is reflected all the way downstream in the accounting entries as well as the integration back to your member portal, or your member management system, sorry. Again, the statement, if they're paying by lockbox, this is the mechanism that they would use to do that by mailing the remittance in with their check, and that allows us to match to their member account. Then we get into settlement of the funds, and this is one of the pieces that really separates Billhighway from a lot of other payment processors that exist out there. So as a member makes a payment through ACH or through credit card, it takes time for those funds to settle through the credit card networks or the banking networks. In a traditional environment, let's say you're using a third-party processor, you would have to go out and download a file of the transactions that they've processed for you to get the data, and then reconcile that to your member accounts within your system, as well as potentially have to go out and transfer the funds that have been settled into an account into your ongoing operating account. Billhighway has the ability basically to do all of that for you. So in the settlement process, we get the credit card and ACH settlement files from those networks, and we reconcile all of those payments to the member invoice files automatically and almost instantaneously, so that you have real-time access to a member's standing as they're making payments. We handle all of the exception processing automatically. So if you have a member who makes a payment through a credit card and then chooses to call the credit card and cancel that payment, that's called a chargeback. We handle that process for you by removing the payment from the member's account and booking the associated journal entries for accounting that would relieve those charges from the account, so that again you have a realistic view into what the member's account standing is, and you can see those chargeback transactions on their account. Same thing if they do an ACH payment and there's non-sufficient funds within their account at the time of settlement. We relieve that payment from the member's account, and then we can automate email message to the member letting them know that their payment was not successful due to non-sufficient funds, and what steps they can take to follow up on that. We can also inform someone at your organization that those transactions have happened, so that you can follow up directly with the member if you would like to. The next step that we do is we reconcile all of the cash that's available in the physical bank account to the general ledger. So within Billhighway, we have the general ledger, and that general ledger in Billhighway is integrated to your external general ledger. When we settle the cash, we reconcile the physical bank account, the payments that have been processed into that account, to the general ledger in Billhighway, and make sure that every transaction that hit that bank account is properly accounted for in the Billhighway general ledger before it's integrated into your external general ledger. And we do that on a daily basis down to the penny. From there, we determine the cash that's available to route to those virtual cash accounts. And those could be various entities within your organization, or if you want to separate the funds by payment stream for events or certain aspects like that.
Excuse me, we have a question that came in from our chat window.
Sure. So the question that we got is, do the members have a certain day the payment is drafted, or each individual be drafted on a day of their choice? That's a great question. So typically that's set at the local level. So the local would make the determination as to when, if they're doing automated payments or automated withdrawals, the local is going to determine the date that that is set for. And so that typically is aligned with a payroll cycle. If they're getting paid, let's say, on the 25th of the month, they may choose to have the withdrawal on the 25th or 26th or some date that is close to that payment date. But ultimately, that's set at the local level. Okay. When we talk about settlement to accounts, this is just a view of the Billhighway dashboard that's available at an executive or headquarters level. So think of this maybe as the state level, where you would want to see finances for the state, but also each of your individual locals below. I will pop over into the live software here. I always like to show live software whenever we can, so I'm going to swing into the system here and show you some features of our platform. So what we're presented with here is the Billhighway dashboard. So I'm logged in as someone at headquarters, for example, and what I have here is on the left is what we call the accounting piece of the dashboard. This has my group selection, where I can see all of the organization, the finances, everything on the dashboard here is for my organization as a whole. If I choose to, I can filter by various locals or chapters or what have you. If I select one, for example, you'll see all of my cash account balances have changed. I'm now looking at the finances only for one particular local. I see all of the billing and payment summary, so I see how much has been billed to that within that local and how much has been collected. I can actually click into the finances for this organization, for this local, and I can see the individual member balances by member type. If I have a full-time member, a part-time member, if there were other classifications in here, I would see that as well. I can see what they've been billed and how much they've paid, if they're over or under, and how much of that the percent collected. This also is available in a graphical representation. Sometimes that's just easier for leaders to manage, so you can see here the collections that have taken place for the organization. As I go back to the home screen, you'll notice that there's also some budgeting on here. Some of our organizations choose to manage the finances directly at the local level, all within Billhighway. So they can use this for budgeting purposes, and we also have some payment capabilities in here where you can issue prepaid cards or actually write checks with approval processes directly from within Billhighway. So all of that functionality is here as well. I'm going to swing back over into the presentation. This again is just another view of that local selection where you can view the individual finances that I just showed you in the live software. The next piece, and this is really the key piece of what we call the magic behind Billhighway, is the auto routing of funds. So what we've established within the Billhighway platform is the ability to automatically route funds to various entities within your organization based on the information that's contained within the member statement or the invoice. So we have a cash ledger within Billhighway that indicates where within your organization the cash belongs. So when we collect a payment for a member account, we look at what's on the invoice or the statement for that member account, and we route those funds to the appropriate cash account. So that could, for example, be a national, state, or local dues, or an event, or a donation, or something of that sort that's being made. We automatically route those funds, and then we provide an automated reconciliation report of the movement of all of the funds between those accounts. To drill into that a little bit further, the way that this works is we use the invoice as what we call the traffic cop that tells us where the money goes and belongs. You recall earlier I showed you a statement for a member that showed national dues, local dues, and state dues. As the member makes that payment, we look at those line items. The traffic cop determines where to route the funds, and then as the payment settles, we route those funds into different virtual cash accounts. So you may see some unallocated payments and payments that are in transit. Those are payments that are waiting to settle. But then we have amounts that we represent in these virtual cash accounts that show I've collected payments, and this is how they're earmarked. I have some for events, I have some that belong to the local, some that belong to the state, and some that belong to national. So I now have very clear transparency as to where the money I've collected belongs based on the invoices that were created for the individual members. The way that this is represented is, I just showed you the executive dashboard. The way this is represented is in that accounting portion of the dashboard, I have the cash account balances, and you see the events, local, state, and national. These cash accounts are configurable when we implement all of our clients, and you can choose a wide variety and a large number of different cash accounts that you may want to represent here. Where this becomes really nice is, number one, if national invoices you for their portion of a member's dues, you can see exactly how much you've collected to date to pay those. And you can also have the ability within Billhighway to configure these to automatically move the funds to that entity, or you can leave them there and have them manually distributed by someone within your organization. But we can completely automate the flow of the information throughout the organization for you if you would like to. It really, another question that came up is whether or not it matters what general ledger or membership management system is being used. The short answer to that is no. We have done integrations with a wide variety of general ledger packages as well as member management systems. We also have a large variety of different integration mechanisms or options as far as how we can do that. And that really depends on what the requirements of your organization are as far as how real-time do you need the integration to be, what sort of information do you need to be passed back and forth between our systems, and so on. That's something that we simply engage with you through a discovery process to understand what the needs are and then work to design the solution for you. This is a view. I want to show the difference here for you. So if I flip back, you'll recall I had the group selection. I had indicated that that's for someone who may be at the headquarters level of your organization that can view the finances for any local. We have role-based security within Billhighway. So let's say you're the leader of an individual local, and you have access to the finances for your specific organization. Based on your role within the organization, we can limit what you have the ability to see within our platform. So I'm going to log in to what we call an officer account. So this would be someone maybe that's at the local level. And what you'll see here is that group selection's been removed from their dashboard. They only have the ability to see the finances for their specific organization, for their specific level of the organization. Again, all of the functionality that lives within Billhighway still exists in the top ribbon here, and that is page level access that's configured by the role for the user. You can limit what someone has access to in here. But this person still has access to go in and view the member balances. You'll see in this this local, they have more members in here, again separated by the member types that they are distinguished by. So we have that represented in here. Again, it's all role-based. The other aspect of this is all of the reporting that's available. So we have a large variety of standard reports within the system that have different transaction reports. You can see the member payments that have been made, the details, how did they make the payment, did they use a credit card or lockbox or what have you. You can see transaction fees that have been applied, all of these different transactional reports. But we also have financial reports. There's a large set that are available to users within the platform. At this level, this role that this individual has, some of those have been limited. So this person has access to income statements, balance sheets, trial balances. Here's all of the reconciliation reports. There's a member aging report. So if I go into the member aging report, you can see who has what balances on their accounts and how long those balances have been active. So if you're following up with members based on the aging of their account, that information is available within Billhighway. And all of this data can be exported or integrated back again to your general ledger or to your member management system if you'd like to do other analysis or reporting, or for whatever reason might like that information to be there. Okay, going back to the presentation here. So we flipped through the role-based access and auto routing of funds into various cash accounts. Just to summarize the solution, so again, it's a very flexible platform that integrates with your member management system. Again, we can integrate with most any member management system that is being used in the marketplace, including homegrown systems. We have done integrations with those as well. And then we integrate on the back end with your current accounting solution, your general ledger package. And then we can, one item I didn't note is that we sweep the funds out to external bank accounts if you choose to maintain an external operating account. We can sweep the funds that are collected to those accounts on whatever frequency you would like to have that done as well. So you can keep the funds within Billhighway and manage the funds there, spend directly out of the platform, or transfer the funds to your own external bank account and manage the funds separately from there. Just real quick, one question that came across through the chat window is regarding our pricing model, which is a common question that we often get. So usually we approach that with each individual client, but the general way that we charge for our services is much like a payment processor. So we charge a % of dollars transacted per transaction that goes through our platform. That is only for incoming payments from members. That is not if you're managing spend out of the platform. But that is essentially the only fee that we are charging our clients. We don't charge for development, customer maintenance. There are no licensing and maintenance fees for our platform. There's no hosting fees. Any of those types of activities that you would traditionally see in a software environment are not charged. The one component that we do have is we charge an upfront implementation fee that is then credited back to your organization once you go live on our platform. And the amount of that fee really depends on the complexity of the implementation that we're going to go through, but ultimately you get all of that fee back to you when you go live on our platform. So hopefully that answered that question. I do have another question here is, do you currently work with any education associations? The answer to that question is yes. We have been live with the Michigan Education Association for about 1.5 years now. They recently came off of payroll dues deduction in the state of Michigan, and so we helped them with an automated solution integrating with their Abila and NetForum product there. And we also did some work with the National Education Association as far as designing their new platform that they'll be going live with later this year. So a lot of experience in that market. And then also we've done some work with the American Federation of Teachers, working with the Detroit local as well as the Michigan State. And we have several ongoing discussions with some other states right now about using our solution as well. And then I also see a question about how to get more information from us regarding the platform. Great segue into our last slide here. So my name again is Pete Wardrope. I'm the Director of Growth here at Billhighway, and then Rebecca Mitchell, who's our Senior Growth Consultant. You can feel free to reach out to either of us for additional information. We're happy to schedule a call or send you some additional information or documentation if you would like. We are also recording today's webcast, and that will a link to that webcast will be sent out within the next few days following this session today. So that'll be there for you as well if you'd like to watch this and revisit any information that we covered today. So with that, I would like to open it up to any further questions that folks have. I know we said we'd take an hour. We finished a little bit earlier. So if there are any questions, feel free to enter those into the question pane, and we'll make sure that those are addressed. We'll give you just a quick minute here and see if anybody has any open items. We do have a question regarding what the transaction percentage rate is. That really honestly varies. It depends on a few different factors. So some of the primary factors, and I will answer the question, but some of the primary factors are things like anticipated mix of payment types. So as far as, do you think there will be a high volume of ACH payments from members, or lockbox payments, or credit card payments? So that goes into the payment mix, as well as what types of credit cards might be used. So American Express typically has a higher transactional rate than a traditional Visa or MasterCard do. There's also a lot of different rewards cards within Visa and MasterCard that carry higher rates. The nice thing about what Billhighway does is we flatten that percentage rate. So you get one common percentage rate for credit cards, regardless of what type of card is being used. But we factor all of those in. So the way that we typically structure this is it's a tiered system. So ACH payments typically get a rate somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 to 2%. Lockbox payments typically get a rate somewhere around 2 to 3%. And then credit cards are somewhere between 3 and 4%. And that really is a process that we engage with our clients to understand what their current payment mix and model looks like. And if you don't know because you're currently on payroll deduction and looking to come off of that in the future, we have some data from our existing client base that we take into consideration and have a consultative process with you to make sure we're getting those rates in alignment with you. We also have a question here. Does the system notify members when payments are not received? So I believe, if I understand that correctly, is if there is like a failed payment or a late payment or something of that sort, and the answer is yes. We can configure that based on a variety of different mechanisms. So that can be, do you only want it sent if there's a failed payment? We can do that. Do you also want to be notified if there's a late payment? We can certainly do that as well. We can configure how long after the payment is late the member can get a notice automated from the system as well. Another feature of the platform that some of our clients take advantage of is you can apply late payment fees to a member account as well. So if they do go past due on their account, you can automatically apply late payment fees, and that's completely configurable as far as what types of fees you'd like to apply to the account. Some of our clients do choose to do that, and some of them do not. I think we have one more question here, so we'll see. So the question is, does this only include cash or credit card payments, and how do you do payroll deduction? Very good question. So we do not currently apply payroll deduction to member accounts. This is an area that we have explored in the past, both with the NEA and with AFT. It is something that we are very interested in doing within our platform. We've designed the solution. Quite frankly, we just have not gotten to the point with a state affiliate that had a need or wanted to enable that functionality within the platform. So the very honest answer is that it does not exist in the platform today. It has been designed. We do need a state that wants to partner with us in making sure that we're meeting the needs and requirements of them for payroll deduction. So we do have the capability in the platform. It just is not built today. And I think, I don't know if we're getting any more questions or not, so we'll give just another minute here. It looks like there might be one or two that are coming through. So we have, can this system be combined with the NEA database, or will it have to replace it? That's a great question. So there's a two-part answer to that. And because I'm not exactly sure if we're talking about their current database, which is the IMS platform, or their future platform that they're moving to. In short, the answer is yes, we can integrate to either. The current IMS system we're very familiar with. We've been through some very detailed discovery with them and understand that platform and know that we can do an integration to that one. Alternatively, with the future platform that they are rolling out, we do know and have had several discussions with them that there is the ability to integrate with them. The integration that will be built to that platform is a cost that Billhighway will be incurring ourselves. So we simply are looking for a state that sees the value in our solution and wants to integrate it with that platform. And we have talked to the highest level of leadership at the NEA about building that integration, and that is something that they're very supportive of. Very good question. I don't see any other questions coming through at this point. I know that we just answered a couple questions from some folks. I want to make sure that we've answered those questions and that you don't have anything else that maybe we left open. So if you do still have outstanding items from those questions, please do type them into the question, and we'll make sure to clarify the answers that we gave. So I'll give you just a minute for that in case anyone has anything else. Okay. I don't see any other questions coming through, so at this point I think we'll conclude for the day. I would like to thank you all for joining us. It's been great to present to you all. I do hope that we get to speak with you guys at some point in the future. As I said before, feel free to reach out to either Rebecca or myself if you have follow-up questions. If we can answer any more detailed questions, that would be great. And then if there are any other items that you need, let us know. We will be distributing the webcast and the presentation again within the next few days. And feel free to reach out to us if you'd like to set up a conference call. So thank you again for your time and your questions, and have a great day, everyone. Thanks.